are. Gas is off. There are some leaks in the pipe systems that I found, but they're in impossible places to actually crank the pipes out. We're not going to be able to get those out. So what we are going to do is we're going to just bypass this whole line and we're going to run a whole new one. So I'm going to basically disconnect all these lines. Now over here, these lines aren't even being used. It's an electric tank, so this is the way it's set up and this is the way they want it. So these don't even matter. So I'm just gonna, and this is where one of the other leaks was at. So we're just gonna take this whole pipeline offline. We're just gonna leave it in place. We're gonna leave all these in place, all this whole run here. We're gonna run a whole new line. This is just the best way to deal with this because it's too hard to get in anywhere. These, see, they're all stuck in between the vents and all the way down. You can't get access to them. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just run a whole new line down. And so basically right here is where we're gonna make our new connections, right around here. Yeah, so let's see. It's right under this tile piece. We're gonna just take this down so that I can get access to that. This is where we're gonna make our new connection to the meter. And we're gonna run a 90 off of here. So we'll just cut here from the system. We'll just cut it right. We'll just cut right there. Just pull that out, put a 90, and then we're gonna so we're gonna do a 90, we're gonna drop down, and then we're gonna just come across the joist all the way down. We're gonna run it. So we'll have to drill through here, keep going, run it. And then it's gonna have to like go this way towards the furnace. So we'll have to drill through up here somewhere. All right, here we are. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut this pipe and then we'll get it out of there. So start, just go right. Yeah, it really doesn't even matter where, honestly. It could be just pretty much anywhere. I mean, I could even cut at that thread right there. All right, so we're gonna start here. This is gonna be our 90 point. So basically we're gonna go do a 90 and basically come down. We'll run it down until we get to here. And then we're gonna take a turn and then we'll go right through the hole there. So I'm just gonna see now. So we got the location we want to go. We're gonna start marking these off and then start counting all the parts we're gonna need. So we're back here now. One thing I did want to check is if maybe it can come up and then just we'll do a straight through. We might do it there too. Seeing as it's lined up here. All right, so let's think about that a minute. Instead of doing this angle here, we could probably pull this apart and then just bring it straight up, go straight over. I think I'm gonna do that. All right, so we've got everything mapped out, laid out. How we're gonna do it, we're gonna run this up, go through the hole. All right, we're gonna come through the hole, we're gonna take it up, go up, start getting up on that joist there. All right, and then we'll kind of mark where we're gonna run. We're gonna run right through, run through this hole, keep running until we get to the stove area. We're gonna do a T. We're gonna tee off above the, right along this joist here, come down, and then just taking up. We're actually gonna move that hole, move it over to here. And yeah, so we're just gonna move that hole. We'll just wood epoxy that, fill that in, and then we're just gonna move it over a little bit, which is fine. So here where basically the axe gonna go in there, That's going to connect there, like that. And then we run our 1/2 inch like that from there. 1/2 inch go in there and we'll start to run. So let's do it. Go ahead and put our pipe dope on. All right. Okay, there we go. That's ready to go into the main up there. We're just going to do that next. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get that up there. This is the most important part of it all, is making a transition for the rest of the run. So that's right here. All right, we're gonna just get that in there. All right, so there we are. We've got the transitions made now. 1 inch, gonna run the 1/2 inch from there, as you can see. All right, so we're ready to make this run down. So we got this first long, nice piece. We're gonna put the braces up first so that I can just slide it right in from there along that same line that I cut, and that's perfect. See, it lines right up with the lines that I marked. So there we go. We're about to run this now. First run. First, let's get some braces up so we can slide it right on down there. Because I'm, by myself, so trying to hold this pipe by myself is not going to be easy. So we're going to have to support it with the braces first. So let's run those. All right, so here we are. We're cranking it in now. By using the brace, this kind of holds it up here, and then these are holding it so that I can crank it, keeping the pipe up. Since I'm doing it by myself, this is how we do it. And that keeps the support. It helps me line up. I am going to tighten this one back down now. All right, we almost got the 1/2 inch run started here. It's almost all the way tightly in there like I want it. Looking good. Everything's in there right. All right, there it is. Boom. So everything, now we're rolling now. All right. Now we can go ahead and tighten these all the way up. So now they're solid. There it is. All right. Okay. Now let's keep going. All right, so here's the run now. Made our first coupler. Here's our T90 going over to the stove, and now we're working our way through to come this way. All right, here we are. We're running the line now for the stove now. We cut it and trimmed it. Now it's going to line up with the hole correctly. Although we're going to have to move one over though, but we'll do that next. Let's get this pipe in there. We need both. Let's see if I can just put that there. this wood epoxy and kind of fill in the holes here. Alright, so we plugged the holes in there, got the valve, new stove line ready to go. Alright, here we are. So we got that ran up, and I'm going to take and do some screws here just to make that little kind of like that brace so it can sit there on that. So we're going to clamp that down, so we're getting ready to do that next. Alright, so we made a mount here, and then we put the clamp around that just to keep that solid so that doesn't bounce around up there. That's a common thing with stoves, they'll be bouncing around all over because they don't you know, lock it down at the bottom. So that's what we did. Made a brace, screwed them together, and then put the clamp in there. So that'll hold it down. Alright, so now we got the pipe into the T, cranking it. See, the good thing about having things clamped as you go, everything stays solid, so when you turn those, everything stays where it belongs, doesn't flop around, and it's easy to turn them in. Alright, so we got the one union we're going to need to join the trunk to the furnace area. So we got the union here we're going to put in. So one's going to go there, one's going to go there, and then that'll join the rebuild to over there. So that's what we're going to do next. And it's already rebuilt over here and coming through like that. Just got to tighten the union here, this one too as well, and do a test, and then we'll put this back on and we'll be ready for the gas company. All right, here we go. Let's get this union in. All right, so now we're tightening the unions in. All right. Now we'll be able to pop that on there. All right, there it is. That'll join the system. All right, let's tighten this union, and then we'll tighten the other one, and we're done. All right, there it is. Got the union connecting the two. And then here's the other side coming through. Union tightened back down, and we're just going to do a pressure test, and that'll be our last part of this. And we're good. All right, so here we are. Made the rest of the run. And then came down, put a union there, come through, over to the other side, to the furnace, and then made the connection. All right, and then that union's already tightened up. Now we're gonna do our final pressure test of the whole system. Make sure that everything's good, which I'm sure it is. So let's do that next. All right, so here we are at the pressure test, and we applied 0.5 psi. We're just gonna let it sit for about 5 minutes just to test everything out, make sure everything's holding. Alrighty, it's been over 5 minutes. It's holding in place, no leaks. We're good to go. Then get the gas back on.